When Rashid Echesa was arrested on Thursday last week, Kenyans asked themselves several questions. But one question was outstanding. How could a former cabinet minister who was kicked out of office by President Uhuru Kenyatta easily access the office of the deputy president William Samoei Ruto and sign fake tender documents or fake tender deals worth over 39 billion Kenyan shillings? How was that possible? And who are these foreigners? Who are these foreigners who are able or who are willing to sign a deal worth over 39 billion Kenyan shillings? Because the office of the deputy president is not an ordinary office. That's one office you cannot just walk in like you can walk into your member of parliament office and access. But these guys did not just access the office. They used the VIP wing and went and sat in the VIP waiting room. How was that possible? And who allowed them to access that office? And when that news broke out, William Samoei Ruto termed it through a Twitter as media propaganda. He also termed it as politics. But the DCI launched their investigations. And on the next day, they questioned the staffs in that office. I think they questioned around four security officers who were on duty on that day, and also the receptionist and a secretary. Because those were the people who directly dealt with this matter. But one man was not in office on that day. Sergeant Kipygon Kenei. Because he had gone to Nakuru, but he had not returned back. When the news flashed, he was actually with his friends taking, lunch or breakfast? That's how he received the information that Rashid Echesa had been arrested. And according to his friends, when that news broke out, he was like, these guys were yesterday were at the office of the deputy president. So when he came back, the DCI expected to interview him. Now, when the investigations were now picking up, all the security team were expected to go to the DCI to record a statement. And 4 of them went to record a statement. But 2 of them never turned up. Kipyegon Kenei did not turn up. And another one. And according to his friends, he claimed that he was unwell. But then something very interesting also started happening on that day. I mean, after he failed to turn up, I think 2 days later, something very interesting started happening. There were rumors online that one of the officers who allowed Rashid Echesa into the DP's office had actually been found somewhere in Kabete, killed. But that was not true, because it was later established that that particular picture which was being circulated was actually something which happened outside the country. It was not even in Kenya. Was it in Congo or somewhere? But this guy was still missing. And just like I keep on saying on this platform, that in politics, nothing just happened like that. So the rumor that this guy had been killed, who started that rumor? Who started that rumor? Those are some of the questions which the investigators need to look into. Because let's face it, Sergeant Kipygon Kenei is a very young man. The guy is only 33 years old. At 33, according to the information we have, is that this guy was 33 years old. He had worked with the police for 13 good years, which means probably he joined the force at the age of 20. Assuming he completed his education, he was just an ordinary student, finished his studies at the age of 18. Then at 20, he went to Kiganjo. Then he has served now for 13 years. And he had managed to rise from being a corporal to a sergeant. He was only 33. At that age, that's now the age where someone is now deciding to settle. So this guy was planning to marry officially, to wed the fiancée in August. And he has left a 5-month or 5-day-old child. Look at it. The family at that age, if you come from a poor background, at that age, the family fully depends on you. And I've seen the pictures. I saw the video when the father was being interviewed. And from the background, I could see the homes, the buildings in the home. It basically confirms that he was not coming from a well-to-do family. So the family was also depending on this guy. So after 2 days, this guy was nowhere to be seen. And the office of the deputy president, through our communications, informed the whole country that one of their officers who was supposed to record a statement with the DCI is missing. Then a few hours later, this guy was found. He was found by a lady who normally cleans the house help, because I think huwa anawacha manguo nje. So this lady, the 2 days, she didn't find the clothes there. So she was like, what's really happening? But the rest is history. So this guy is gone. But questions are being asked. Several questions are being asked. Nobody had gunshots in that home, in that house. Because this guy was staying in Maradaima, Twiga Court. And he was staying in a servant quarter. He was staying in an SQ. So it means if the shots were fired, if the shots were fired, at least the neighbors ought to have heard. Nothing. But he was found kama medongwa hapa, risasi ilipita kwa kichwa, ikagonga ukuta, then came and fell on his chest. Is there something that this guy knew? I can only have 2 theories on that. The first theory is that probably this is the only guy who could have told the investigators what really transpired on that day. Because according to what I've read online on this story, is that when these guys were the other security officials were interviewed, including the secretary and the receptionist, their statement was simple. For them, they were only allowing people who had been cleared to go in. So if you had passed the security check, you go in. But who was checking this? Who was giving these security checks? Who was giving the authority on that day? It was Sergeant Kipygon. So which means, in real sense, this guy, there's something which he knows. So probably that's why he was eliminated. The other theory could be that this guy might have been eliminated by the enemies of the deputy president, William Ruto. Simple. Because the DP was being weighed down by all this scandal. Because even from the day this scandal started on Thursday, I wanted to ask you guys, have you seen the DP? Apart from just attending these low-key events, have you seen him? The DP has not left Nairobi. Today I'm told he's in Tharaka-Nithi for the first time. But even that is not the usual fanfare. So someone just wanted to weigh him down. I'm looking at it from that perspective. So the security apparatus in this country must do Kenyans a favor. We can't keep on having unresolved cases like this. We had Jacob Joma died. Up to today, the case is unresolved. We had Chris Msando. Up to today, case unresolved. We have even Ouko, Robert. Up to today, the case unresolved. How many? You can count several of them. Even Yebei. So it means people are well aware that in this country, you can just eliminate somebody and nothing will happen. Investigations will end there. And personally, when Kinoti was appointed and how he has operated, I really have hopes in that guy. Because look at what happened. When the body of this guy was found, the DCI was coming from Mombasa. The police, the people who found him, never cared to secure the area. I still don't understand why. Or there was some conspiracy. They never bothered to secure. So they were taking this body to city mortuary. But when Kinoti heard about that, he placed a call and the body was returned. And it was secured. So, a lot of questions, really. We must not allow cases like this to go on. So I was saying, when Kinoti was appointed, I believed that he's a guy, based on how he has operated, who can resolve some of these cases. Because if one of these cases will be resolved, then we'll not be having high number of unresolved cases in this country. And that will only mean one thing. That the perpetrators would not be going into this kind of crimes again. Because look, assuming this guy was killed, I want to assume that's what happened. Assuming he was killed, who did this? Which firearm? Can the investigators piece together the evidence and conclude this matter? Can they do that? Because if they won't do that, then this 39 billion tender scam, the investigations will not go anywhere. And if indeed this guy was killed because he had evidence, or because he's the only guy who could tell exactly what transpired, then it means even in future, people would not be willing to be witnesses. Because this guy, look at it, this guy was a disciplined officer. He's not an ordinary man found in a scandal. If he committed suicide, which in my view might not be the case, if he committed suicide, this is a guy who was in the disciplined forces. If he committed suicide, why was he doing that? Was there some pressure from certain quarters, or was he also involved in this game, but he didn't want to go? He was just under a lot of pressure. What really happened to him? Because by the loss of this guy, this case has lost a key witness. A guy who authorized these guys to go in. Because according to his friends, this guy actually told Rashid and the friends that the DP was not in. So if these guys wanted to see the DP and the DP was not in, the best thing would have been for them to turn back. That did not happen. And if someone just wanted to taint the image of the DP further by eliminating this guy so that it could be blamed on the DP, what is the end game? Why should we do that as a country? That's why I strongly believe that the police, the DCI, must get into the bottom of this matter. This matter must be resolved for justice to be done in this country now and in future. I don't know what you think, but in my view, there are a lot of questions. I don't want to go into some of those deep questions because, this is a matter in court. So there are certain things we can't say on camera here. But questioning, just questioning some of these things is allowed because those are freedoms of speech. But going into the merits of this matter might not be very good for us at now. But I think a lot of questions needs to be resolved. For example, this guy was found lying on the bed. I mean on the floor. Blood iko wapi? Wapi damu? Damu iko wapi? When you are shot, you'll be in a pool of blood. Where the blood? Hakuna? Kidogo tu. So was this guy eliminated somewhere and brought? Several questions. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye bye.